Hi friends, my name is Jududu Silva, the initiator of Nurturing Sustainable Generations Uganda. We introduced our movement or our topic and we said it is Nurturing Sustainable Generations Uganda. We started it a few weeks back and we have been posting videos about this movement and last week we talked about climate change as one of the issues in the environment. Now we looked at what climate change is, what its meaning, what causes it, both on human scale. What are the causes? What are the things that humans do that cause climate change? We looked at them. Then we looked at also the natural processes that cause climate change. And we looked at the effects of climate change. So today we are going to look at the remedies or what the government of Uganda has tried to do in terms of combating or remediating climate change to that matter. So we are really going to look at majorly two. The government of Uganda has embarked on key measures to ensure climate change, because they have so many pledges to ensure that they combat climate change on a global scale. So we are going, first of all, we are going to talk about climate change mitigation. What is climate change mitigation? So by definition, according to the United Nations Environmental Programme (UNEP), climate change mitigation refers to the efforts to reduce and or prevent emissions of greenhouse gases. We talked about the greenhouse gases in our previous video, and we said carbon dioxide is one of them, methane is also another, and then the nitrous oxide is also another. So the definition is climate change mitigation refers to the efforts to reduce or prevent emissions of greenhouse gases. Now, mitigation can mean using new technologies and renewable energies. We talked about renewable energies in one of our previous videos, and we said there is wind power, solar power, hydroelectric power, biofuels, and we said biogas is one of them. We excluded biomass because biomass also leads to again cutting down of trees, which is biomass, which is so popular in Uganda. It says mitigation can mean using new technologies and renewable energies, making older equipment more energy efficient, or changing management practices or consumer behavior. Changing management practices or consumer behavior. The consumers, they mean people. That's according to the UNEP. That is the definition of climate change. Now, we are going to look at now what the government has done in Uganda. I have my research that I've done regarding how we can combat climate change in Uganda. But first of all, I'm looking at the mitigation strategies that the government of Uganda has done to ensure that climate change comes back to level or to pre-industrial levels. Then we shall probably look at my remedies, my strategies, and then the indicators. I have even the indicator that I've put. The indicator to show that what I'm talking about is not malicized, or to prove that what I'm talking about is really on point. So I read this report from the report from the World Bank, the World Bank report of 2019 May, and the headline was Uganda government steps up efforts to mitigate and adapt to climate change. You can read that report if you have time. It is the World Bank report of May 2019. Now, when you read through that report, there's somewhere rich and they say interventions on climate change. Interventions of climate change. They are talking now. The World Bank says in the northern Uganda, Lira district officials have embarked on tree and grass planting to trap emissions from growing municipal motor traffic and from their composite site where municipal garbage is incinerated. That is what is done in northern Uganda. The Lira district officials have embarked on tree and grass planting to trap emissions from growing municipal motor traffic and from their composite site where municipal garbage is incinerated. Government is promoting the use of energy-saving stores as a means of mitigating climate change effects in upcountry areas. They are also adopting the use of energy-saving sources. So the first one, the two key areas we were talking about was tree growing and also promoting the use of renewable energies. Now, energy saving stoves are part of the sustainable strategies, the renewable energies that can be adopted or used as an alternative to fossil fuels that are popular in Uganda, the fossil fuels that we normally use. Now, energy saving stoves are energy efficient and the best alternative to 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 fossil fuels. Now, in the Kasese district, there is tree growing, and this has been encouraged by the Natural Resources Office of Kasese district. They have put his name. He's called Katswere Joseph. The man is called Katswere Joseph. That's the Natural Resources Officer of Kasese district, and this man has encouraged tree growing. He has also emphasized sustainable soil and land management in the district. Him and other district officials, they have emphasized sustainable soil and land management by constructing trenches, particularly in hilly areas, to reduce the speed of runoff. Kasese is one of, whenever it rains, Kasese now is one of the areas that are hilly, just like Mount Elgon areas, Bududa area, Kapchora, Bulambuli. I'm from there. I'm from Bugisu region. So these areas are hilly, and when it rains, water tends to run down. Now this man, Joseph Katswere, has embarked on sustainable soil and land management by constructing trenches, particularly in hilly areas, to reduce the speed of runoff wherever it rains. Him and the other district officials, which is a very sustainable strategy to combating the effects now of climate change, because in high rainfall intensity is one of the effects that are brought about by changing weather patterns or climate. We are continuing on that report by the World Bank in 2019. Now, Kasese being the champion district, it also talks about Kasese being the champion district in renewable energy use, which is also done up country. they are also talking about energy saving stoves for cooking and solar energy for lighting instead of clearing trees for wood and fuel. That is also done in Kasese. And it's not only done in Kasese, even to other areas. So Uganda is majorly embarking on tree growing in all regions, and then adopting sustainable energy use or renewable energy use solutions. Now, globally, the ways to mitigate climate change, part of them are put a price on carbon emissions, end fossil fuel subsidies, build low carbon or resilient cities, increase energy efficiency and use of renewable energy, and implement climate smart agriculture and natural forest landscapes. Those are one of the global strategies. Now, among them, Uganda is only talking about plant a tree and then turning renewable by adopting renewable energy options. So Uganda is basing more on agroforestry and then adopting renewable energy options. That's what our country is doing to combat climate change and its impacts. Now I have my own that I'm going to bring next week. I've organized them very well, and we are going to look at them next week, inshallah, or God willing, because I've even given the indicators of what I'm talking about. The indicator that what I'm talking about is real and can be addressed. Now, there is a note here, I read it somewhere, and it said climate change mitigation, which broadly covers, actually this is from the Department of Climate in the Ministry of Water and Environment. It says, this was written by the Department of Climate, the Ministry of Water and Environment. It says, climate change mitigation, which broadly covers tackling the root cause. Climate change mitigation, which broadly covers tackling the root cause of greenhouse gas emissions and taking advantage of clean technologies, is important in Uganda's context as part of contributing to the sustainable development of the country. Climate Change Department at the Ministry of Water and Environment is the one that says that. Just to repeat, it says climate change mitigation, which broadly covers tackling the root cause of greenhouse gas emissions and taking advantage of clean technologies, is important in Uganda's context as part of contributing to sustainable development of the country. Now, tackling the root cause of greenhouse gases is now our this is what we are doing. Nurturing sustainable generations Uganda. This now, let me to some of you who are just getting introduced to this program, I want to pass through to remind you about what we did in our first works and what we aim at doing. Nurturing sustainable generations Uganda. Nurturing sustainable generations Uganda. Now, nurturing sustainable generations Uganda is a movement that I invented, that I started, and I believe you will follow and also be part of it, and will become a success in Jesus' name. Now, nurturing sustainable generations Uganda is a movement that aims at developing a sense of environmental consciousness among both local, national, regional, and international communities. That is the definition of nurturing sustainable generation in Uganda. This is what this movement is all about. Now, the main objective of this movement is to educate, to train, to sensitize, and all nurture masses or generations. Generations, I mean people, entirely, globally. To educate, train, sensitize, and all nurture masses or generations with a vision for a more sustainable future or safer Mother Earth, or safer planet Earth. Now, under Nurturing Sustainable Generations Uganda, we said the key areas of concern or the 5 key issues we were going to tackle. We said the first one was climate change and its associated impacts. We are tackling now, which we are talking about climate change and its associated impacts. 2 is habitat conservation or long-term health of our ecosystems. That was our key area of emphasis, number 2. Number 3 was renewable and or clean energy use and adoption, which one of the strategies Uganda is using to combat climate change and its related impacts. Energy saving stoves and others. The natural resources officer of Kasese district encouraging people to use solar energies. Those are renewable energy solutions, and it is our key area number 3 that we are going to base on. Number 4 is good water, sanitation, and proper hygiene. Number 5 was sustainable trade, and under sustainable trade we said sustainable tourism will take center stage. We are going based on sustainable tourism. The first one, climate change and its related impacts. Second was habitat conservation or long-term health of our ecosystem. 3 is renewable and or clean energy use and adoption. The number 4 was good water, sanitation, and proper hygiene. Now, number 5 was sustainable trade, and we were talking about sustainable tourism taking center stage. Now, that is what we are going to look at. And next week we are going to bring my research. I'm going to present to you my research I've done. Now, the other one was the national one for the country. It is majorly basing on tree planting and encouraging people to use sustainable strategies, to use renewable energy strategies or other alternatives. In other words, other alternatives like energy saving stoves, solar, electricity. That is what the government of Uganda is doing. So I thank you, and I invite you under this program. Please like it, support it, share it with friends, subscribe to it, and also generate, put ideas into it. Put your ideas to make sure this program is a success and this movement moves global. Since it says we are to educate, train, sensitize, and nurture masses, we are using online platforms for this start because we may not have real funds to touch the grass or to go to different areas as of now. But we can use this platform first, then that is coming soon. It is soon coming, and we are going to do it in schools, in communities. We are going to go there because people don't know. Most of the people in local areas, in villages, they are aware they face the impacts of climate change, but they don't know what really causes, or what they do, or what other people do that are causing what they are feeling. So we must address this. It is a global concern. What others do that you don't do is causing what you are feeling, which is so bad, and we don't want it, our children to inherit that. That is what exactly Nurturing Sustainable Generations Uganda is all about. And we said the youths at the forefront. We must use the youths at the forefront to fighting this and ensuring this. I thank you and wish you good luck.